and she never steps backwards. She's always moving forwards. I'd like to give the floor to Francesca Albanese, UN Rapporteur, UN Special Rapporteur on the Occupied Palestinian Territories. Go ahead, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Excellent. Let me start in my usual unconventional way by saying that this is not the first time that I have the honor and the privilege to meet with members of the European Parliament and their excellent supporting staff, whom I salute. And never I have felt to be with you today. It's very moving. And I think this is also a reflection of the incredibly transforming time that we are in. And I also want to echo what Honorable Manu Pineda, with whom I share the pleasure to be in Spain. And I thank you vividly for all the support he gave me for that successful visit. I want to echo his words of thanks and gratitude to the representative of South Africa. What you have done is incredible and is historical, and it will stay with us forever, with all of us, in all continents. And I also salute the representative of the state of Palestine, because what the people of Palestine are going through is probably the grimmest time in the entire tormented life of these people since 1947, 1949. And still, never the violence unleashed against the Palestinian people has been more ferocious. And it doesn't come only at the hand of the occupying power. Now it's clearly, vividly, visibly supported by the Western community. And this is, let me say, this is a shame. It's our shame as Europeans. And I'm very happy to start my remarks, which will bring me to touch upon three issues. One is the question of hunger, famine. I opened the CNN page today and I saw that they are amplifying the warnings of the United Nations officers that the situation in Gaza is of a looming famine. The level of hunger and starvation in Gaza is beyond control. People are eating grass and drinking polluted water. There are 1.7 million displaced people sheltered in various premises by UNRWA or in the vicinity of UNRWA's premises, out of 1.9 million displaced Palestinians in Gaza. 85% of the population is outside of their homes, and this is shocking. And I would also like to spend a few words on UNRWA and on the ICJ. And it's very important that we understand critically what's going on as Europeans. And I also want to salute the civil servants of the European Union who are breaking the ranks and are demonstrating against the system, asking for an arms embargo. It's time to break the ranks because there is a genocide unfolding. And if we don't wake up as humanity and stop not only the genocide and the genocidal hand, but also those who enable the genocide and the genocidal hand, we will have failed our humanity once again. And just before I comment on the famine, we are now at the 115th day of war in Gaza. Of course, what Hamas did on the 7th of October was criminal, was abysmal. They killed civilians. They hijacked. They took civilian hostages, and we have all condemned this as war crimes. And we have called as independent experts for the release of the hostages, but nothing justifies what Israel has done as of the 7th of October, because it has killed 26,600 people. This is 1.1% of the population in Gaza. 10,000 of these are children, out of the 7,000 of the whole death toll, which is represented by women and children. There are 9,000 people missing. They are probably under the rubble. And the count, this monstrous count, can increase because Israel keeps on saying nothing will stop us until victory. What victory are they talking about with this death toll? And the fact that 60% of Gaza is completely destroyed, 400,000 housing units, the entire schooling system, including universities, has been destroyed. There is no possibility to easily access hospitals, who are completely depleted because of the Titan siege. And let's focus on the Titan siege and what is causing now. 9 out of 10 families in many areas of the Gaza Strip are without food. They cannot access even one meal in 24 hours. There are mothers who have to decide which of their children they will feed with the stale bread they have. This is the reality. There are kids who cannot sleep because of the noise of their rumbling stomach at night. What is this? What are we doing? And of course, this is not only because of the siege, the impossibility to access food, water, medicine, and fuel. Israel has destroyed bakeries. Israel has destroyed most of the farming land. Israel prohibits to fish. So there is no possibility to produce food in Gaza. This is the reality. And in the face, this is also one of the elements that has pushed many humanitarian actors, including in the UN, to call for emergency measures, to call for emergency humanitarian assistance, including a ceasefire, which is the only measure that can stop all this. And many more, in fact, risk to die out of hunger and out of disease, communicable diseases, which are spreading across the Gaza Strip. This situation has already been recognized as plausibly constituting genocide by the International Court of Justice, no later than last Friday, and on the 26th of February. And instead of complying and finding the way to comply with the measures, with the interim measures ordered by the court, most European states, including Germany, Finland, the Netherlands, and Italy, what have they done? They have decided to suspend aid to UNRWA, which is not only an agency that has been serving most Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, 75% of the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip for decades, and others in the region. But it's also the lifeline for many right now. By suspending funds to UNRWA together with other 6 countries, the US, Australia, Canada, UK, Scotland, and Switzerland, the risk is for a total collapse of the little that remain of order and the possibility to deliver humanitarian assistance. So this is the critical situation we live. Of course, the reason why there has been criticism against UNRWA are serious, apparently based on Israeli evidence that no one else has seen. But let's assume that it's true, that 12 UNRWA staff members took part in the 7th of October attack. I really don't understand the logic of curtailing funds to UNRWA. I heard Mano the other day saying the fact of having a nurse committing a crime, does it lead, or a teacher committing a crime, does it lead to curtailing of funds to the hospital or the school? Of course not. And this is the reality. It sounds to me that this is a retaliation against the agency. So this is not only immoral, utterly immoral. At the moment, the entire population in Gaza is at risk of starvation while also being bombed. It's also most probably illegal and can be and needs to be studied to what extent it can constitute complicity into acts of genocide. So this is the reality that we have today. And the International Court of Justice and its orders, actually the orders of the International Court of Justice are binding. It's not an act of charity to abide by these orders. It's necessary to preserve what remains of the international legal system. So once again, I thank South Africa for having shown the way. I really regret the despicable stand that has been taken by many European countries. And I truly hope that every one of you in the room today will find the strength to act. And again, it's time to break the ranks in a peaceful way, of course, but to ask for the respect of international law. Because eventually, as I often say, the UN Charter says we, the people, no, we, the states, and we, the governments. It's upon us to be the guardians of the international system that is there to protect all of us. Thank you very much.